Jerry here, welcome to this video. Decided to make this video because I got this post out and it got some attention when it comes to you asking the question of how does this lady all lose specifically belly fat and how most of them, funnily enough, they were either in the middle of the holiday or they went through the holiday, right? We know that 90% of the time the weight that you gain through a year is within the holiday time, right? And this is why a lot of people have this idea to start something and then stop for the holiday and then restart afterward. But what if you were able to create a lifestyle and obviously be able to eat the food that you like to eat in the holiday without really doing all quote unquote the damage that you feel like you're doing? Now, with this being said, I'm going to show you this picture. It's very clear that these ladies were struggling, obviously, with excess fat in most of the body, but especially on the midsection, right? So all lady that lost anywhere between 3 to 5 kilo or even more through a time frame of, I would say between 1 and 6 months. Okay, so this is something that is clear. It's clearly a pattern. It's not something it's clearly something that we are able to make. We are doing that and we are guaranteeing that results. Okay, if you follow the structure, you will get that. Now, funnily enough, when you say I want to lose belly fat, there is almost this myth around the fact that you can lose belly fat. Or you cannot, to lose belly fat, you need to eat specific foods or you need to do specific things. Now, there is no way of you just losing the belly fat, okay? Meaning like there is no way to spot reduct or you create spot reduction when it comes to belly fat. And this is also obviously proven by science unless you already at a very low fat percentage and get rid of the stubborn fat. It can be done, but again, not on a functional way. With this being said, though, you can get to the leanest way possible, and most of the time, the result, you're really underestimating the results that you can get because your body can get a lot leaner than you think it can, okay? And obviously, that means that you need to create a sustainable calorie deficit, and that means that you need to balance out your hormone such that these receptors, which are mostly, as we age, they go from the lower body, actually, as we age, the hormonal shifts, right? But the stomach tends to have this, beta receptor, which are much harder for you to release fat that the alpha receptor would be, right? Now, with this being said, you can clearly still do it. It's just that you need to create that deficit, right? You need to create the deficit. You need to create a lifestyle. And when it comes to holidays, this is the funny part. It's because that people feel like they are forced to almost like there is this thing that the holiday is gonna mess everything up. But realistically speaking, thinking of that sense, it's really like there are, if you are in Europe, maybe there are like 3 or 4 days. So Christmas, New Year's, right? Then there is maybe the day before Christmas, and then maybe there is the day before New Year, right? And then if you are in US, there is like Thanksgiving. We'll put it this side, but maybe the day after, Black Friday. So it's like maximum is really like 6 days, right? So if maximum is 6 days, 6 days are not like enough to undo all the results as long as you understand what you're doing, right? We know that if you create a calorie deficit sometimes in a week, you create your calorie deficit and you don't understand what you're doing, and then the weekend you eat more. If you eat much more, you undo this calorie deficit that you done, right? So and obviously that would level off. But what you really need to do is really create something that you're able to ensure that you're not necessarily going to damage or the results, let's say that the efforts that you're putting in before those days come, you're not going to damage. And again, when we do that with carb cycling, for example, it's relatively easy because we know that there are low days and there are high days, right? So your body thinks in weeks, it doesn't think in days. But if we know that we're going to have a Christmas, let's say, comes on a Sunday, for example, right? You would essentially need to do a couple of days of low days before, low carbohydrate days, which also mean there's going to be lower in calories, or to even to the extent of you understanding, like this would be seen as chronically, meaning like that would be seen as you are doing something for days, but also on the same day itself. I mean, like, are you gonna eat only a big Christmas dinner, right? Or are you gonna eat a huge cheat meal, right? Because you know that you can include that inside your, like, when you look at this guide, that one of the things that is suggested is that you include your cheat meals in specific times that you work out more or that you have a holiday. There are a few scenarios here, right? Now, when you understand that your body thinks in weeks and not in days, you understand that you can still get away with something that you do in one day, right? So if this is kind of like the meals, a general meal, let's say that these are the meals that you want to be using most of the time. Like if you control 80% of this meal in the week, you create inconsistency, right? So we know that we need a size of protein, or two sides, and then you have some vegetable and some carbohydrates, right? If you were to eat essentially a cheat meal, right? All you really needed to do, like meals before and maybe 2 meals before, you just have a protein and a vegetable or a protein shake, or something protein based, right? And that's the same thing, like, as around that meal, right? If you know that you're going to be eating a meal, let's say Christmas, right? Let's go back. Here is basically what I just said. So this is kind of like the regular meal, right? The balance, right? And the meal's balance is going to be of the nature of something like under 500 calories, right? Now, we know that if you eating instead a meal which is more, it's going to be, let's say, 1,000 calorie, which again, we're talking about this because it doesn't really matter what you're eating, right? There are some people still that think that there is bad or good foods. I mean, that, whatever. Like, let's say that is the big Christmas dinner here, right? And obviously you cannot go into this framework. You cannot eat 500, right? So what you're really going to be eating is, like, you're basically going to compensate in a way, without attaching any emotional to it, right? But you're basically going to compensate with a smaller meal or two smaller meal before. Total of the two smaller meal, total of 500 calories. So, it's 150 each. That could be a Greek yogurt with some fruit. It could be a protein shake with some vegetable. Like, if you leave those lower carbs and including some vegetable and protein and fiber, chances are you can easily compensate that, right? And a total of your day, it would be 1,500 calories, right? If you're planning to eat just that. And as you can see here, for most people, 1,500 calories, you would still be able to make a Christmas dinner, or a Christmas day, a lower calorie day. Like that's a possibility. Okay, of course, realistically here is going to be more so of 2,000 calorie, but again, you just compensate here, and then you basically compensate the day after, and it's so easy because again, it's really relatively easy to understand how the body works. Now, with this being said, is because again, it is super simple, the process, right? But most people do not they're not able to make this work. And again, like, you must be realistic about this. And why? Because there is patterns that you can that you should identify, right? And then there is a ways for you to be able to eat, right? Which is either intuitively, or tracking food. But then there is some sort of personalization needed and really teaching you how to optimize a thing. Okay. So with this being said, before this Thanksgiving, before if you're watching in the US, before Black Friday, from right now it's going on until Black Friday, I'm basically launching an additional service inside my coaching program that is called accountability. Most like, if I would have to tell you what the secret was with this lady, is because they were accountable. Like, every single time I gave them something to do, they did it. They told me exactly what's happening. Okay, is this happening or that happening? The feedback of the body, am I losing weight, whatever the case is. And then it's basically optimization. And I know some of this work took 3 weeks, some of the work took 6 months, right? And again, the beauty is that you can actually get that in 6 months, right? It's relatively easy. So with this being said, as I said, I'm launching this new version, which is basically accountability, which will be a way for me to get you accountable, to keep you accountable into getting this kind of results. And again, the thing that I'm doing before Thanksgiving, because I really don't believe on Black Friday really, but this year, as I won't discount my stuff, or I won't give you easily access to, like, unless that I'm not gonna give you like things f off like most people do, as I don't really believe on that. But I do believe in introducing new services and give the possibility to people that actually need help for a new introductory price. So with this being said, if you're interested, I'm gonna give a link below, and you can schedule a call with me before this Thursday, because Thursday, moving as we go into Friday, prices is gonna be the normal introductory price. That I can tell you that what the Black Friday thing would be is ludicrous. Is really something that you will get tons of value to compare to whatever to whatever you're gonna need to commit. Now, with this being said, schedule a call before below, because I need to make sure that this is for you, and I need to make sure that you're a good fit for this, because we're gonna have to work relatively close with this, and therefore I really need to make sure that you are getting in with the right frame of mind. Coach Jerry here. I'm gonna talk to you on the other side. Hopefully, to see you in there.